Hey, all this was recorded, guys.
Cool.
All right. Well, I think today's show is going to be an easy one. I think we know exactly what we need to talk about. So, we're from New Jersey, and over the past, they say couple weeks, we're just starting to kind of see them now. But over the past couple weeks, there's been these drone sightings, UFO sightings, whatever you want to call it, all over New Jersey, where, you know, everybody's seen them. Like there was a time where it's like you ask people, have you seen a UFO or a strange object in the sky? Some people would say they have seen them, some people haven't. But now almost across the board, at least in New Jersey, almost everybody besides Mike has seen a strange object in the sky. You know, so last night, we knew that we were going to do this today, but last night, Brendan, you sent me a video at like 11:30.
Dude, I took about 10 videos last night. All right, last night I had a moment. Me and my girl had a moment last night because I got a notification on the Ring app, and it was like drones like a mile away. So I say to my girl, I'm like
on the what app?
So I got my parents a Ring app. You know,
like
Ring, the door,
get in your house,
the doorbell app, right?
So like the doorbells sense stuff outside.
No, so basically on the Ring app, you're connected to like the neighborhood.
Okay. All right.
So a notification came up on the Ring app and basically was like, "There's drones a mile away." So I go outside, dude. I went outside and I couldn't believe it. There was literally 10 drones. I'm gonna show you the video. It's crazy.
What'd you see?
I saw something fall from the sky. I swear to God. It like was a light and it went down. That just changed direction too.
I just changed direction completely. I can't fucking believe this. Yeah, I used to come out here when I was a kid and literally try to be like, where's the UFOs? Not just 3 of them passed.
So where were you when you saw these?
Dude, I walked out in the front yard of the house, all right? Walked out, and there was 3 lined up almost like in a triangle. And I'm like, is that it right there?
Now, how low do they look? Because I only live probably like 3 miles from you.
Yeah.
And I went outside right when you sent me that video, and I couldn't see anything.
Much lower than a plane.
So it showed me they have to be super low.
And they're
or else
silent.
I would be able to see them.
They're fast, they're silent, and they're changing directions, man. It was really weird. I'm not kidding.
Are you sure that they were silent?
100%.
Because a lot of them that are appearing aren't silent. Like you can hear the propeller or whatever it is.
Well,
and then you're like, okay, well, that's a drone. Like,
people are
I
like,
can
that's
hear
why
it.
it's a drone.
Right. Here's what's weird. The first 2 went by and they were silent. Then another one went over and I kind of heard it a little bit. But what was weird was there was a moment where I was standing there and I counted about 7 of these things in the sky. There was more of these drones than there was planes. And they were blinking in and out.
What colors?
Green, yellow.
Yeah. If he has the video, you can play it here now.
Yeah.
But it looked like whatever you saw last night looked like a man-made drone that we have, because it looks like it had like 3 lights, like 2 red and like 1 green. It just looked like something that a person is flying. But then at the same time,
dude,
as I don't actually know,
somebody who. Like, I've always been fascinated with UFOs, obviously. You remember years ago, I'd always be out in the front lawn being like, is that a plane? What is that? Yeah. For me, going outside last night and seeing that was, like, mind-blowing. It was like, what is this? Like, what's going on?
So you had another, like, an otherworldly feeling about it? Yeah. Or you were like, this is...
No, I had...
Like, you thought it was, like, what are you actually telling us?
Here's the first thing that I felt, okay? And this sounds kind of strange. The first one I started filming literally kind of like started coming towards me. I have the video of it. I'm like, I felt it. Like,
because that's why I really want to see them, because I feel like I'll know right away, like, oh, that's a drone. Yeah. Or like, what the fuck's that? Like, you know what I mean? Like, I feel like just as a human being, you have instinct, and you'll like know, like, you'll have some kind of instinct of what it is. And I almost
want to go inside. Like I was like, I feel like this thing's like coming at me, kind of.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like,
So do you feel like it saw you?
yes, 100%.
You felt like whatever
Yes.
the drone was or the object was in the sky,
Yes.
it knew that you were there.
If I was a caveman, I would have felt like we were connecting somehow. I'm not kidding.
That's strange.
Yeah.
And you said the lights were what color?
Well, this one, when it was at distance, it was like it almost kind of looked like an orb from a distance because how many of the lights are, how many
Yeah, that's
lights
what it looked like in the video. But then the closer it gets like
Yeah, it's
crystal
like green
clear, and you
yellow.
can see the couple lights on it.
and it's really weird.
Did it seem like it was empty? Like was it like being flown from a remote, or do you think that there could have possibly been people inside of it?
I don't know. I don't know, but
Too small, right? For what the video looked like, it looked like they're too small to have
I
a
can't
pilot.
tell. I can't tell. But I did feel immediately when I started filming this thing, I really did feel like I was sensing like something's on.
Because some of the drones or whatever we're going to call it that are being seen, they're saying that they're as big as SUVs.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah, I have heard that, and that's scary.
And
man.
now they're
'Cause
starting.
that thing falls out of the sky, it's going to hurt.
Which is
whatever. It's
making,
gonna
which is like
kill whatever lands on.
before they were calling them drones because there was nobody in them flying them, but now they're believing that there are people inside flying these things. That's what they're saying now.
That makes it way, way weirder.
Every day the story's changing. Like every day, like it's going in a different
Well, let's
direction.
just get real for a second. If that was actually the case, and they don't know what these things are, setting everything aside, like that would technically be an act of war on whoever is here. Like you
Absolutely.
can't just fly in American airspace and do whatever you
No.
want, and it's unexplained. So this should be a huge red flag to like either the government knows exactly what's going on, or they're so baffled by it that they actually can't have a solid reaction, that they actually don't know what to tell the people.
Yeah.
They're both kind of unbelievable for me. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I mean. No, I'm sorry. The second reason is kind of unbelievable for me.
Yeah.
Like, I feel like the government has to know what's going on, or else it'd be like, yo, lockdown, you're in your houses,
You're right.
the government's
Yeah.
outside, like, this is crazy, and we need to figure out what's wrong. Why is that not even in the air? Like, why is that not even a thing?
That's why
So obviously, there's no threat, I guess?
Well, they're saying that there's no threat, but the thing is that like if it was, to me, if the news is saying and these politicians and everybody is saying that this is not a threat, it's leaving me with two options then. Because if it was, Russia or China, and they're flying over your house, that's a threat no matter what. And you should tell the American people that, hey, like, listen, like, we believe that this could be a foreign technology, and we don't know what they're going to do.
I guess they don't want to
so this could
come off as that weak, because how would it make us look like...
But they're already
are
saying,
you kidding me?
there's already politicians saying, like, this is so much more advanced than us. Like, this is 10 years ahead of us. Like, we have nothing like this. They're already showing our weaker hand. Like, they're not keeping a poker face.
Yeah, but that makes a lot of sense, right? Because if there's something that's much more powerful, right? Like, what do you do when you're kind of put against a corner for a second? It's like you kind of just sit there and you're like, I'm not going to strike first.
It's just
because
very
you're-
unlike the U.S. government.
Yeah.
To ever be like...
Showing this level of weakness.
Yes, I think like we usually would probably lie in,
But that's why it makes me believe that it's either our technology, us, or extraterrestrial, right?
Well, that's why you would assume if the government isn't freaking out that it's our own
technology.
I mean, if we have to leave here with one thing, I'd say that's where I'm at right now.
That it's our own technology?
Because I haven't experienced it yet. I haven't seen them, but just from the history of our country and how things are handled, if they're not making it a point to keep people inside and try to protect people and have either National Guard out there or anybody out there to actually find out, like, we have not seen one jet fly overhead. During the 9/11, there were jets everywhere because they were like,
That's
yo,
true.
is there any like planes we need to like take out? There's no one flying around monitoring anything. So that it just leads
I
me to believe.
I have seen videos of these drones being captured and jets flying with the drones.
Yeah.
Like people have been like, there's
these
the
exact drones, like these drones, or
Yes.
like drones from like 6 months ago.
Recently. Yes.
Like these Jersey drones.
The planes are like trying to catch them, and they're also saying that when they do try to approach these drones, they're like blacking out.
Right. So
Like when our technology gets close to it, they black
like
it out.
intelligent. Like they react. Like it's not just some static thing. That,
But let me tell you something that's weird, right? And you gotta think about this. So I'm like a night owl, right? I'm up all the time. I'm up all night. Around 2 o'clock, 3 o'clock in the morning, these things are coming out. Okay, these are out at like 9 o'clock at night. These are meant to be seen.
Yeah, they want people to see it.
At 4 o'clock
And
in
that's
the
what
morning,
they're saying. They're saying
these guys
dusk.
are done.
They're saying these things are coming out from dusk to about 11 p.m.
Now here's the other thing.
Like they want to be seen.
One of my friends who is totally believes that this is our government tracked how many times throughout a couple months that these drones have been in the sky. It's been every day. They took Thanksgiving off though.
Yeah.
Why?
well, dude, I mean, everybody has to celebrate Thanksgiving.
But
Even the aliens?
they ate turkey too.
But think about this, right? Like, doesn't that kind of say something right there? It's like, is it us? I mean, why on Thanksgiving? Where are the
They
people
must think
that
we're
are
so
working?
dumb, you know?
Yeah, it's like we.
That's what I'm saying.
If you took off on Thanksgiving,
I'm still
though.
on the government. I'm gonna say
So
they
you're
are,
saying that this is American?
they're either like doing some like bizarre spying grid thing where they're like, we need to like remap.
And why is it
something.
just
like
New Jersey
they're just
right now?
doing something fucking weird?
Well,
And
my
they don't want to explain themselves.
I'm thinking here's one thing is that New Jersey is close to the water, right? So you can fly these things out to the water to hide them. But also is that New Jersey is a like you can't have a gun in New Jersey. You can't shoot, right? So it's like you don't hear about these things in Texas or something because people have
people be
guns.
shooting at 'em.
This is a non-carry state.
Hey, Margaret,
right, dude? Right?
Yeah, let's fucking blow that thing out of the sky right away.
Like if you had a drone over your house and you
Good
thought
point,
it was
Ryan.
from Russia, you'd blow
That's a
this
good
thing
point.
up and you'd say, no, I'm a patriot. I'm doing the right thing for my country. But in New Jersey, they know whoever's flying these things, whether it's extraterrestrial or from a different place, different country or whatnot, they know that New Jersey is a what do you call it? A non-conceal.
Conceal and carry.
Carry.
Yeah.
So it's like they know that most of the population in New Jersey, they don't have guns like ready to go. You know what I mean? And you're definitely not allowed to be shooting them like that. So I don't know. Like I think I really don't know what to think. But another thing that stands out to me is that a lot of these drones that we're seeing all seem to look a little different. Right? Like it's not just one.
That's
Some
what's
people
even stranger
some
about
people
it.
are seeing triangle shape. Some people are seeing these big SUV, shaped drones, and a lot of them all seem to have different color lights. Like some of them have these like FDA lights where they're like the
looks like a
red,
plane. Yeah.
the green.
Yeah.
And they're like flashing in like
and they're
in
flashing.
sync to where you think it's like a toy drone, but then others, it's like a spacecraft. It's flying around the sky all crazy.
Here's my thing. This is all super crazy stuff. Where's this going? Like, when's the reveal gonna happen?
They're staging the
You
alien
remember
invasion.
watching pro wrestling when we were kids, and like you'd see like a new character they're bringing in with like a hood on or something, and they're like, oh, who's this guy? And it's like then the pay-per-view comes,
Yeah.
and the end of the show, the guy runs out, and it's like, oh, that's this guy. When are they gonna reveal what is going on and what is about to happen here? No matter if it's UAPs or if it's the government. I really don't believe it's going to be like, hey, remember when those drones? Oh yeah, that was kind of weird.
So you don't think they're just going to go away?
No, I think there's going to be an event. I think there is.
You think this is all leading to something?
I think this is a lead up to something, and I don't know what it is, but
Is it leading up to a war or is it leading up to an extraterrestrial thing?
I think it's probably leading up to an extraterrestrial thing.
I feel like the president needs to like address or do something. Like isn't
I'm
it like
surprised
that?
he
I feel
hasn't.
like it's like, hey, like it's almost like that. It's like, dude, there's something pretty crazy happening in New Jersey.
Well, listen, like now, this quickly went into like a hearing, right? Like the FBI was questioned, and he sat there and was like basically just like demolished by all these like state politicians being like, what do you mean you don't know what these things are? Like nobody's buying that you don't know what's going on. This makes zero sense. And the FBI guys are just sitting there just like taking it like we don't know what it is. So does that mean that
Like that never happened.
how are the American people going to trust these hearings if they're going to be lied to like that, to that level? Like next year, it's like, oh, it was us. Don't even worry about it. You can't really have a society like that.
Or it's like this. Look, it's so like insane you can't even comprehend it, but these entities they're interdimensional beings and they're here now, and I can't even explain to you.
Yeah, but that thing's like, it's up in the sky. Like that's no interdimensional being.
I don't know, but some of them are moving quick, and they could be blending them in with others. You know what I mean? Like, so when you do see a regular UAP, you're like, oh no, it's a drone.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah, I mean, if this is extraterrestrial, I have a theory, right? And it's that, like, listen, we always believed, you know, for people that do believe in extraterrestrials, that there was an agreement made at some point, right? With these extraterrestrials, since Roswell, since, you know, Eisenhower and meeting with these extraterrestrials and having these treaties where we get technology and, you know, they were allowed to abduct a certain amount of people, and you have all these cattle mutilations and just so much weird stuff has happened, right? And now these objects are appearing, and they're appearing with these FDA lights on them that make it look like human, but maybe, and this is far out there, I'm just saying, is that maybe the extraterrestrial treaty with humans is like, listen, we're going to bring our UFOs, our objects now to Earth, and we're going to meet your guidelines of having the FDA lights. Like, there's a certain type of lights that you have to have in order to fly on Earth.
So basically, they're going by our rules.
So they're like, we're here, and we're going to go by your rules. You know?
Yeah.
That's a weird one. I don't know. I'm just saying that, like...
All right.
The other thing that I think everybody forgot about, I forgot about, and I thought about yesterday, and then I was like, holy shit. December 3rd was the prediction by that guy.
There's no way anybody had this on their 2024 bingo cards. You're telling me that because Joe Rogan interviews Donald Trump in 2024, that means that 39 days later, we're gonna have some kind of alien warfare in the sky? Are you serious? So in 1997, a guy named Cliff Lee develops this software called WebBot. This software started as a tool to predict and analyze market trends, analyzing massive amounts of data and predicting the stock market. And it did that. WebBot predicted stock market trends, but one thing that it also predicted, this software claimed that a global military scenario involving UFOs, or UAPs, whatever you prefer nowadays. Military scenarios with UFOs. Humans versus aliens. It predicted that battles with UFOs will be breaking out all over the sky. That's absolutely insane. WebBot didn't just throw this out there. It just didn't, hey, one day this is gonna happen. No, this prediction came with a very, very specific timeline. According to this software, these things are not gonna happen until 39 days after a specific event. So what could possibly trigger such an extraordinary change?
And he said there was going to be a war in the sky.
And it happened.
It didn't happen on December 3rd, but it started to roll out, dude.
Like, we don't know. Maybe
we
it did
weren't
happen on
talking about
December
this
3rd.
like weeks ago.
Yeah.
But that, I mean, was there some truth to that?
It was that AI bot that dude made.
That's bizarre. Now it's like we are kind of at war with these things. Like, we're not fighting them, like, you know, yet, but like we feel this presence, we feel this threat. Like, what is going on?
Now let me ask you this for real, okay?
Damn.
If we had no idea what this was, don't you think we'd be like jets flying in, being like, "What are you?"
100%.
Man, I
hold on.
said it would have been lockdown.
Yeah.
It would be lockdown.
Yeah.
So that's why I'm left. I hate to say it, but I'm just left to believe that
Something weird is happening here.
the government completely knows what's
I
happening.
believe that the government knows what it is, and I tend to think only because of the history of extraterrestrials that it could be extraterrestrial related. And if it is extraterrestrial related, what is the FBI? What are these big top people going to be saying now? They're going to say, we don't know.
All right, but here's the other thing. If it is from the government, and this is maybe kind of from a different political party here doing this, what's the end goal?
The end goal is go away.
go away.
Yeah, like they just leave it, let whatever the treaty is, let it be.
Okay, but I'm saying this.
You're saying the opposite.
I'm saying the opposite.
If it's the government just lying to us, what is their goal? And it's just to control. It's just some more.
What do you mean? What do you mean?
More scare and control.
The government's telling us that they don't know what it is.
Okay, but
what Brent is saying is, if they're lying about that, why would they be lying about it?
Why are they showing us this?
Because we are outmatched.
Okay, so we're outmatched.
There's nothing we can do.
We're outmatched by things we don't know in the sky. What's next? What's the goal here? Like, what is there going to be an alien invasion, and then it's like
whatever is, if that is true.
What?
No, you're just saying that
saying from the other point of view.
I'm saying, look, from the other point of view. Let's
the government's lying to us.
Yeah.
Let's say I'm part of the government, and I'm part of this.
And they know about the extraterrestrials.
No, I'm saying I made this. Okay, I made these drones. Now the government's doing it.
It's like our technology.
Okay,
our technology.
Oh, you're saying that? Okay.
Okay. What's the goal?
What is the goal of doing that? Like,
why
would they be
going to blow shit up? And then be like, no, you can't.
There's
we
probably
need to keep
some
our president.
type of,
like, what's going to happen?
Stage an invasion.
Yeah.
Or they're looking for some type of minerals, or they're some type of new technology that's going to help make America.
Don't you think
better.
you could be stealthier about it?
Maybe there's
instead of just like being out in front of everybody.
When it comes to like military type of stuff like that and military equipment, you don't really. It's hard to judge like why they're doing it this way, and then that could come out, and then it's like, oh, okay, well, it was to make us stronger. We'll let it slide. You know what I'm saying? Okay. But I just tend to believe going back, you have to put it all together, right? If we say this is extraterrestrial, right, which I tend to believe that this could be extraterrestrial, you have to go all the way back to 1947, okay? Now, before Roswell, a week before Roswell, not like a whole bunch of months, a week before the Roswell crash, Kenneth Arnold saw these drones. And he said they were traveling, I think, like 12,000 miles per hour, something insane like that. That was so much faster than any plane.
And they looked like what we're seeing?
And it looked like what we're seeing, these drone objects. And then he landed the plane and said they were flying saucers, and then it was posted everywhere. Then the whole world, our whole country was like, whoa, like, are there aliens? Are there flying saucers? Blah, blah, blah. And then Roswell happened, right? So that's one. Now that's one guy, and then we have the whole Roswell thing in general. And then the following year, a pilot named Captain Mantell, 1948, went up there, and this guy died. He crashed his plane to the ground chasing one of these objects. So this pilot, he was like a World War II pilot, like a badass, heroic guy, saw this object and chased it so freaking high that he lost oxygen, probably passed out, and crashed the plane to the ground. And I did a story on this, and I was like just telling the world about this guy, because a lot of people, they don't know this stuff unless you really dig for it. Right. But his name is Mantell, that's the last name. And his family reached out to me, and they were like, thank you. Yeah. Because the family is like, no, like our grandfather died from chasing one of these things. Right. Like he actually thought it was like a UFO, a drone, whatever it was, and he chased it so high up that he lost oxygen and crashed the plane.
I think it's scary for a lot of people. A lot of people don't want to believe it. I mean, for some people, you can see this thing in the sky and they'd be like. I saw one in Jersey a couple months ago. I was with people, right? They were like, "That's a lantern." I was like, "That's a huge lantern. It's bigger than a plane." You know what I mean? And I saw this months ago, and then Liv saw the same thing. You know?
Yeah.
So it's weird, and they're here in Jersey. And my question is it going to spread? Like, is it going to be like now Phillies?
Yeah, that's super weird. It's only in Jersey.
It's only here.
Well, last night they posted in San Diego that they're starting to pop up again near the water. Near the water. The escape
that's supposed to be very common out there. People supposed to be apparently they see UFOs in the water.
But dude, the escape
in California all the time.
The escape is the ocean.
Yeah.
That's the only thing that makes it kind of feel like, wait, no, this isn't from here. When it's like hundreds of these things just came out flying out of the ocean.
Yeah.
It's like, wait, what? Like, I watched a video on YouTube a couple weeks ago of some guy literally being like, oh, look at my new drone, and it falls in the water because the batteries died. And he's like, shit, like, my drone's broken now.
Yeah.
These things are coming out of the water.
And they're going back down.
And they're going back down.
And so now you have New Jersey, which is easy to get to the water, and then another video last night from San Diego. Again, the escape is to the water.
What I'm saying, most drones can't go in the water, right?
Dude, I don't know any drones
Hell
that can
no.
go in the
Like,
water.
most drones can't.
Like the second that thing gets wet, dude, I see people like on cruise
We
ships
don't have a
flying
lot
their
of
drone.
stuff that
like it,
that's what's the word? What's the hell? The amphib.
it can't go in the
There's some
water.
kind of word.
Can't
but
get wet.
We don't have a lot of vehicles that are like we have to really build a crazy vehicle for it to actually be able to do everything.
Yeah, but go underwater?
Yeah,
like
dude.
there not a lot of that stuff on around.
So to me, is that technology that we have? Because I don't think it is, and I don't think that other countries have that technology right now. Or maybe
You
they
brought
do.
this up last time. Like, why do they? Like, why aren't subs like a common like
submarines
vehicle in the ocean? Like why doesn't everyone just have those at the docks? You know what I mean? I know people go fishing, but like you think a couple of rich
traveling
guys,
underwater
think
is
a
not our
couple
thing.
rich guys would have like really like dope subs,
to
you know,
even
but
just
no
go
one
under a little bit. To be like,
Yeah.
you guys
But
want to go
it's
under
like
a little
no,
bit?
it's like you don't.
It's like, nah,
Like
you never
traveling
do that.
underwater is not a way of like human travel.
No,
Yeah.
You know,
just don't do it.
Like you stay above the water. You
We
do
build
not
a
go
tunnel,
under the water.
We
Why?
build the tunnel, and that's about it. Like the Holland Tunnel.
Yeah.
Like there's a couple tunnels, but that's
But
it.
what's under the water? Why can't we travel underneath the water?
Dude, I'll tell you, I've been thinking about this a lot. Have you guys? I've been thinking about this shit a
Yeah,
lot.
man, absolutely.
Because I really don't think that this is something that's gonna just be like, now the drones are gone. Oh yeah, I don't see them anymore. Something's gonna happen here, and it's gonna be big. You know, it's gonna be big. It has to be.
Yeah, that's exciting.
So now, how do you feel about a lot of these politicians right now are saying, shoot them down?
What do I think about shoot them down?
Yeah.
I think that
We need to find out what it is.
it's risky, dude. Because guess what? If it is UAP, you know, we take that first initiative to start a conflict right there. You know, and if they're flying out of the ocean and they're obviously that much more advanced than us, then I'm not sure that we want to figure out what their retaliation is going to be.
But what would stop you right now from shooting it down?
Fear of the unknown.
Retaliation.
But
obviously.
if
you try to shoot it, what if it tries to shoot back?
absolutely,
Like, that's when the war starts,
Listen,
you know?
But listen, if it was from China, why are we not shooting it down? If it was from Russia, why are we not shooting it down?
You want to know why?
Why?
Because I think that deep in our military, we kind of know what other countries have. We kind of know a little bit. You know what I mean? It's like, think about deep in people that know how the B-52s and things like that are built. You know, like they kind of know what other countries are working with. I think, you know, and I think also, if these things are super advanced, if you look at some older extraterrestrial footage of these jets chasing, all from different countries, there's also been jets that have tried to take down these UAPs, and they almost have a shield around them. You know, so like they're shooting at them and it's doing nothing.
Like, don't you think it's weird that all these objects are flying around? Like, we're not just saying one. It's not like the Chinese balloon that we saw last year, where it was like, you know, that one balloon, everybody has their eyes on it. This is like multiple unknown objects in the sky, and not one was brought
like
down.
fleets of them.
Yeah.
Not
Dude.
one.
I think it's two things. It's either deliberate or we're scared. We're or our higher ups, our elite, our politicians, everybody, our military, we're scared. You know, we're like, we don't know what to do.
But dude, you know when you don't fight back?
When
You know you're conquered. In the
Exactly.
movie Gladiator, in the opening scene, they fight the barbarians, and the general says, you know, I forget the exact line, but it's something along the lines of like, some people should just know when they're conquered.
people should know when they're conquered.
Yeah.
And when you listen to these state politicians tell the FBI, why are you not shooting it down? Why are you not shooting it down? Sometimes I just want to look, I believe that those FBI guys are sitting there thinking, these people don't know that they're just completely outmatched. Like these people, you guys just don't understand that we are so outmatched that it's like to even shoot at it is ridiculous. And if they are extraterrestrial, this again will take you all the way back to another encounter that happened, I believe in the early, I think it was 1942 or the 30s, the Battle of LA, where we actually did shoot at some type of object in the sky and they did nothing. And a lot of people are like, that never happened. It
Do you see
freaking
those
happened.
pictures? It looks so crazy.
It looks nuts.
Like spotlights and shit, and like,
dude, they lit
the entire army. It was
Los
like
Angeles was lit up in the middle of the night where people were crashing their cars, people were having heart attacks. They thought we were at war with like the Soviets. They didn't know what it was. And so they were blasting the sky at these objects. And all the military guys said our bullets did nothing. So if this whole thing is extraterrestrial and those FBI guys know that this is extraterrestrial technology, they're sitting there, and when these people say shoot it down, they're just like, some people just don't know when they're conquered.
Hey, you know what? Now's the
On
time.
that note.
You want to get freaked out?
Yeah.
Now go listen to that Art Bell interview. Do you remember that?
Yeah.
With the guy that's like, they're interdimensional being, and he's flipping out. I remember listening to that at least 10 years ago.
Yeah.
And being like, whoa, man, this is really believable. This is crazy.
Line, you're on the air. Hello.
Hello, Art.
Yes.
Hi. I don't have a whole lot of time.
Well, look, let's begin by finding out whether you're using this line properly or not.
Area 51.
Yeah, that's right. Were you an employee or are you now?
A former employee.
Former employee.
I was let go on a medical discharge about a week ago, and I've kind of been running across the country. Oh man, I don't know where to start. They're gonna they'll triangulate on this position really soon.
Well, you can't spend a lot of time on the phone, so give us something quick.
Okay. Okay. What we're thinking of as aliens are they're extra-dimensional beings that an earlier precursor of the space program made contact with. They are not what they claim to be. They have infiltrated a lot of aspects of the military establishment, particularly the Area 51. The disasters that are coming, the military, I'm sorry, the government knows about them, and there's a lot of safe areas in this world that they could begin moving the population to now, Art.
But they're not doing anything.
They are not. They want the major population centers wiped out so that the few that are left will be more easily controllable.
Discharge.
I started getting...
In some way, something knocked us off the air, and we're on a backup system now.
It's the government or...
I don't know.
It has to be something, though.
Now, in this moment, you listen to that again and look up and see what we're seeing. It's pretty weird. It's like
really is.
It's like, all right, this is next level. But think about what that word is, right? Interdimensional, right? It's not like it's going into different dimensions. You know what I mean? It's like, how can we sit here and be like, let me get my Glock and let me shoot this thing down? It's like, dude, you don't get it.
Yeah.
Yeah, well, it's
you
their
can't
fault
comprehend
that we don't get it. It's like either start to tell us or what, you know. But I mean, I get it. You know, that's
the one angle. The other angle is, if this is man-made, a plan from us, kind of falling under Project Bluebeam, right? What's Project Bluebeam? It's the fake alien invasion, right?
that was like supposed to start like this week.
Yeah,
and it is.
So do you believe that this could be the start of Project Bluebeam?
I would say it definitely looks like it.
It goes back to me saying, if we aren't on lockdown and there's not like National Guard in the streets trying to figure out what's going on, yes.
Yeah.
Like that's
But
what.
just think
that's-
about this.
That's what it.
Because we all thought that Project Bluebeam would be this mothership coming over New York City or something like that, where it's this huge thing, you know, and now we're just like, whoa, they have arrived. But is this like the show? Is this Project Bluebeam where they're coming in small little little?
Think about this. All you need is one little event for that lockdown to go down, okay? You could turn on the news in an hour and be like, oh, it's building here, something happened, and all of a sudden, boom, like that.
So if we wake up tomorrow,
Yeah.
and there's a newscast like thing, you know, program saying, lock your doors, stay inside, these drones are bad news. We do believe that these are extraterrestrial.
That would be a big deal.
And can I tell you something?
Everybody would freak the fuck out.
It's
Everyone would freak the
not
fuck
out
out.
of this world for that to happen right now. These things are already out in the sky. It's not that crazy for that to happen.
It could
right now.
happen
They're
tomorrow.
already out there.
Like, did your heart just drop like thinking that?
Because, you know what I
Not
think?
really.
Dude,
It
you
would
know what I
almost
think
just
about?
it'd be like, damn, finally answers.
I think
But
about
yeah,
this,
I mean, I
dude.
get you know.
I'm waiting for the day. I know this sounds so ridiculous, but I'm waiting for the day that we put on the news and our world basically shows an extraterrestrial on TV. And it's like, this is an extraterrestrial, and it's like standing there. You know what I mean? They're exposing.
It's like,
Dude, if we wake up tomorrow and they say there's a newscaster out there and they're like, we just breaking news, lock your doors. These drones are from the Zeta Reticuli star system. You know, the ones coming here are hostile.
Yeah.
We are in danger, blah, blah, blah. Then that means Phil Schneider was right.
Yeah.
And for the ones that don't know Phil Schneider, he was a guy that came out in the 90s and he was a whistleblower, and he said that these extraterrestrials weren't good, and he shot one of them.
I'm Phil Schneider. I spent 17 years in black budget programs, government geologist, as engineer, structural engineer with aerospace applications, and about from me to this elderly woman here in the front was sitting a 7-foot-tall alien gray. The stench was worse than the worst garbage can you can imagine. The person was or the entity was absolutely horrible. I didn't waste any time. I reached for my pistol. At that time, as an engineer, I didn't have time to carry all the Folderol of one of these big submachine guns that all the sea spray and the yellow fruit and all the outer perimeter and inner perimeter security people carried. I carried a little Walther PPK pistol with a 9-shot clip. This was in late August of 1979. Now, you got a regular suit of clothes, you got a regular clothes on, plus you're in almost like a spacesuit environment, and you're reaching for a gun. It's not the easiest thing to do, and then to pop a clip in it and start shooting. And I killed 2 of them. Yes, they're mortal, and they do die.
Yeah. So that means that and he said these beings are mortal.
Yeah.
Meaning that, like, you know, they can die.
Yeah, they bleed.
You know? So for the states like New Jersey, where you're not allowed to, like, you know, open carry and all this stuff, we're not in a great spot.
But let me ask you a question, though, all right? If this comes on the news, one of my friends said something to me the other day, and it made a lot of sense, right? He was like, dude, look, I ain't buying it until I see little green men walking around, okay? I'm not buying your story until I see them. I see the aliens myself. I don't know if I'm buying the whole, like, you know what I mean? It's like, oh, these things are here, you know, and stay inside, you know what I mean? It's like, let's show the evidence that show me an extraterrestrial. You get like
who said that, Chris?
What?
Chris?
Yeah. Show me the extraterrestrial.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? You can't just like put all these things in the sky and be like, I promise they're in there. Stay inside.
Well, we all feel that way. You know, like people ask me because like they know that like we do a lot of this extraterrestrial stuff, and people ask me and they're like, Ryan, like you really believe in extraterrestrials? And I said, listen, there's a difference between like believing and like really believing, right? Mm-hmm. Everybody's gonna really believe and act a lot differently when you know 100%, you saw it with your own eyes that these things exist, and you're gonna act a lot different. So even though like we believe, like it's still like, yes, like we believe in Jesus, we believe in aliens, you know what I mean? Like it's like, it's a different thing than actually seeing it firsthand. That's life-changing. Right, you forever act different when you have that type of encounter where it's, you know, you see it firsthand. Like that changes your life forever.
Absolutely.
Do you know what I'm saying? And I don't know, but all I do know is that this is a time where, you know, I believe you either need to believe that there's three things that we can go with. We can go that it's a foreign power, which is like terrifying that we're this far behind in technology, if it is, which I tend to think like, man, I don't know if America could be that far behind. Do you?
No.
Like, you really think like the United States is that far behind? Like they say China's ahead of us by 10 years, but I don't know, man. Like
I don't know. I'm not sure how far or ahead we are, but I do know that from hearing from some of like these military experts, they're like, first of all, if you some of these drones are coasting because they want, it's almost like they want to be seen, but some of them are going really fast. And one of the guys was saying, he was like, first of all, a human would be dead in this, and like they couldn't handle like going this fast, shifting directions. So basically they're saying, they're like, this is not from our world. This isn't from us. This isn't from China. They're not there yet.
So that's the first option, is that it's a foreign power. The next one would be that it's made by us, like, you know, this is our technology, but now you have the FBI and you have all these hearings going on. They're just lying to us, being like, we don't know what it is. And like secretly, like it's our technology. Like, okay, well, that's one way to make the whole American civilization stop believing, you know, and stop trusting our government. So that turns to a downfall in society if you can't trust your government.
People are freaked out about it. People are trying to, you know, I've heard some people being like, this is the new flying cars. They're trying to set it up because they're going to be delivering things through drones now. I'm like, what are you talking about? You know what I mean? Like, people are like making up stories to make themselves feel better because this is so strange.
And then the last option would be that it's extraterrestrial.
Yeah.
And I think that right now, a lot of signs when it comes to the FBI just staring at these cameras being like, we have no idea what this is. To me, it seems like they do know what it is, and then we're outmatched.
They definitely know what it is. They definitely know what it is.
Like somebody on Earth knows what this is. There's no freaking way that everybody at the highest level are completely stumped.
Dude, I was at a concert last night, and I was talking with one of my friends about all this, right? And this guy in front of me turns around, and he's like, I just have to chime in. You know when you can kind of tell somebody's full of shit, you're just like, all right, dude, shut up. You know what I mean? Like, but this guy turned around and he was like, yeah, I have to chime in. And he was explaining to me that the reason why this is happening in New Jersey is because I think he said in North Jersey, we have like one of the main power grids that's like connected to everything on the East Coast.
Yeah.
And he was saying something about that, and that was really freaking me out because it's like, oh, are they here to like knock out the grid? And now it's like, let's say they did plan this alien invasion. The grid gets like knocked out, and now it's like we're all looking up in the skies, and it's like we're being invaded.
Yeah,
I don't know.
If that's what they were gonna do, you think they would just come down and do it?
Yeah.
Like, how are they flying around your house? You know,
because they're probably setting it up. You know,
yeah,
to be like, oh,
so weird.
they're here, boom, shut down. Now it's like we're like, Like, what do we do now? But my thing is this: what's the main goal out of it? Like, what do you want? You want control? You want us to go to your side of the party? What is it?
To take the human mind to that next level of acceptance.
Well, now here's the positive thing I heard, right? That they are extraterrestrials and they're here to open up our, what is it? What do they call it?
Third eye?
Where we're opening up, or like humans are more capable of, we're more capable of what we know, you know, and that there's more, and something's suppressing our consciousness.
We're supposed to be living in the Age of Awakening. Yeah. That's what, like, if you go back to all like the weird books and shit from like Egypt and ancient, even earlier than that, like whatever time period we are living in right now is supposed to be like a gigantic shift in the consciousness of people on Earth, and it's just, it's like it like permeates in all history books. That like this time period, you know, it's supposed to be an age of like enlightenment of where like a big shift happens.
I think it was so crazy.
These could all just be little sprinkling seeds to help instigate the whole thing, you know? Just like how, I mean, we've talked about this on previous podcasts, that, you know, they use Hollywood the past 50 years to slowly, you know, what's the word?
Just like drip the idea of being.
Yeah.
Hey, they are real though, right? They're not holograms, right? They're not holographic, right? You know,
What?
remember
The drones?
Remember Project
No.
Bluebeam was like, there's going to be the most realistic holograms you're ever going to see. Nobody's touched these things, right? Nobody's got them landed, right?
So you're saying that they're possibly holograms?
Are they? Could they be holograms? I mean, we have no like really clear footage of any of them.
I guess it could be.
You know, like, are these things real? Like, or are they holograms? You know what I mean? It's like, hey, remember the Tupac thing from years ago? Yeah. It was like 15 years ago. It was like, whoa, there's Tupac.
No, dude, that was actually Tupac.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Like,
You're right.
Are these holograms? Like, we don't have any evidence that, like, there it is landed.
Yeah.
And all of our footage always looks a little weird when we film it. Like, when I film...
Brendan sent me a video last night, and it looked like he shot it in like in 1980 on like a.
It almost like blurs your phone, dude.
I was like, bro, I think I texted you, like, why does it look like that?
I know.
So that's really
I'm on
weird.
the newest
Were you
iPhone.
extremely zoomed in or something?
No, I mean,
it looked horrible.
I know, but
It's almost like they know the technology of our phones.
Yeah,
the way
blurs
their
it, dude.
lights
Yeah,
go
'cause
with
I'm
our
like,
cameras.
I'm like, what? Like,
It blurs it.
It blurs it out.
Explain that. You know?
And that goes across the board, dude. Because I'm telling
That
you,
is weird.
everybody that's showing these things,
It looks like shit.
It's like they all look the same.
And it's like, every time I take a picture of the moon with my phone, it looks like I'm like a freaking professional photographer. And then you're taking a drone that's right above a tree, and it looks like
all blurry and weird.
Your phone's from 98.
It like just like kind of like lens flares out.
Yeah, now
interesting.
You hear a bunch of different stories. Like I heard a story. It was like a drone fell on somebody's house or something like that. But you know, who knows how true all these stories are. But the main thing is that last night when I was filming these things, every time I put my camera on it, it almost like first started out as an orb. You know, it was almost like my phone was like having trouble.
It's like you're able to see it with your eyes, but then like a camera is like, is there even anything there?
Yeah.
You know, it's like weird. Because like the camera isn't you. You know, the camera's not like a fucking brain interpreting information. Like maybe what we are seeing is different than, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
There's no doubt.
I don't know
about this.
I mean, that's deep.
But honestly, and again, if it is extraterrestrial, that's what they would do. They would know the level of technology that we
like
have.
Ryan's thing with the FDA lights. He goes, well, at least if we're going to go to the country, if we're going to
follow the rules.
We better have the right lights and the little like sticker and shit.
It's far out there.
It's bad
But if
funny.
there was,
I like that idea.
If there was an alien treaty and they need to stay within a certain guidelines to keep the peace, they would be like, we added the right lights. We're here.
Whatever it is, it wants us to see it.
Yes.
That's for sure.
Also, I have to say, a couple people I follow on Facebook were posting videos saying that they've seen some that actually shapeshift. And that's
I've heard
huge.
of that too.
Like that would be, and now we're talking Now we're talking alien. Now we're talking extraterrestrial. Because I don't think we have anything that can do that. I don't think our government has vehicles that can switch from a plane to like an animal or something.
No.
But that's what they're saying is like it was like morphing in the sky.
Wow.
That changes the whole thing.
Yeah.
That if we start to hear like lots of that
Shape-shifting.
happening, we're in a different. It's gonna
And
switch the
then
gears.
we are completely outmatched. It's like it's not even close. Like
There are stories of that forever. Like like the Billy Corgan story. He like still swears by that. He swears by that.
That's a
to this
weird
day.
one.
Hell yeah. Hell yeah. So
That's a strange story.
I don't know.
And the way
Let us
he
know
tells
what
it.
you guys think in the comments.
Yeah.
There's a lot. I mean, it could. There's a lot going on here.
Yeah.
It could really be. I mean,
And we hope we gave you guys
Until
a
a
lot
lot.
to think about. Right?
Yep.
yeah.
So until
right.
next time, leave it down in the comments. We'll talk to you soon. Bye.